Good morning, Peer Runners. Welcome to Morning Brews and Cruise News. I'm your host, Trevor Shelby, and it is Thursday, July 27th. We've got a fantastic show for you guys today. So, we're going to be talking about how the Jubilee put her top on. We are going to be talking about some rowdy kids and a rare sighting when people were whale watching in an unusual place. So we'll get all to that. But first, we're going to talk about today's coffee. Today this week anyways, we are drinking the salted caramel from the Bones Coffee Company. This is so good. This is one of my new favorite coffee companies. It's got an 8.6 score. Today we made it extra frou-frou. We put all the froth milk and the sugar and the whole to-do. Oh, and it's so good. So good. I'm not the biggest fan of flavored coffees, but I am a fan of when it's done right. I love a little bit of caramel. It's probably one of my favorite things to add to coffee. So this was right up my alley, and I just can't get enough of it. I'm serious. So one thing I want to mention before we get started today is if you want to be able to get updates on the latest cruise news, make sure you are subscribed. And we just started a Facebook page. Definitely go on there. The link's going to be down in the description. We're going to talk about it probably every episode. We're going to throw something out there, but we're going to include some of the news that maybe didn't make it into the show. And so if you want to know what's going on and be in the know, then you'll definitely want to be a part of the Morning Brews and Cruise News Facebook group. Now, Peer Runner, speaking of our Facebook page, you might want to head over there and see this kind of a cool video that has something to do with this next story that we're going to be covering. It is actually a time lapse of them doing this, and it's kind of a cool thing. We posted it on there. But last Tuesday, the shipbuilders at Meyerwerft in Germany docked the Carnival Jubilee alongside the outfitting pier and placed the iconic winged funnel atop the ship. This isn't just a decorative hat like I have on. It's a symbol of the Carnival's identity, making the Carnival Jubilee a full-fledged member of the fun ship fleet, and boy, is she gonna live up to that name. Just a few days ago, this beauty hit the water. Her float out from the shipyard covered dock was a success, with her bow thrusters and stabilizers passing just a series of tests. Christine Duffy, the president of Carnival Cruise Line, expressed her excitement, stating that seeing Carnival Jubilee supporting the Carnival funnel is a gratifying milestone, adding that the Texas star on her bow was just the cherry on top, signaling her Texas pride loud and clear. But the journey isn't over yet, folks. The shipbuilding crew is now busy installing some groundbreaking features that we've already seen on other XL class ships, like the Mardi Gras and the Celebration. The headline act, well, it's of course the Bolt roller coaster, the ultimate sea coaster that's going to encircle the Carnival Jubilee's new funnel. So mark your calendars, Peer Runners, because the Carnival Jubilee is set to start cruising from her home port of Galveston on December 23rd, 2023, sailing year-round Western Caribbean itineraries. She'll be making stops in Cozumel, Costa Maya, Mexico, Mahogany Bay. You name it, she's probably going there. Sailings are already open for sale, so visit carnival.com if you're really wanting to go on this cruise. Now, there's one thing I'm looking forward to next year, and I'm going on a 2-week Alaskan cruise, and I'm really interested in, seeing a whale. I've never seen one in person besides, SeaWorld or something along those lines, and I would love to see one in person. Seeing an animal that large is just so fantastic. And so that's something I always kind of look forward to, going on a cruise. I remember on my very first cruise, I got to see a dolphin, and we had a balcony, and it was really cool kind of seeing stuff like that. And so I've always cruised the Caribbean, so, there's not really a big chance to see a whale or anything like that. But hold on to your coffee mugs, folks, because today's story is a whale of a tale quite literally. Picture this, you're fishing off the Texas coast, some 100 miles south of Galveston. The sun is high in the sky, and all of a sudden there's a splash and a spout, and that's exactly what happened to Captain Brandon Overton and Nate Wrestling, who are fishing charter captains. They actually spotted a well in the Gulf, but they didn't spot just any well. Oh no, they were lucky enough to lay eyes on a rare Gulf of Mexico rice well. This is a very, very endangered species. Imagine it, folks. They're out there in about 500 feet deep water, ready to switch their fishing spots when this gigantic sea turtle appears. But that turtle quickly turns out to be a once-in-a-lifetime sighting of a rice well. Overton was even having a quick snooze when he got a shout from Wrestling about the well. Talk about an exciting wake-up call. Now, this gentle giant was a bit camera shy, diving deeper and deeper every time they tried to get photos of the well. After a few minutes of this oceanic hide and seek, they would decide to let it just swim in peace, but not before capturing a few photos of the well. Although they can't 100% say that this was a rice well, our friends at NOAA believe that the elusive creature could very well be a rice well based on its appearance, behavior, and location. These wells are some of the most endangered in the world, with less than 100 of them swimming throughout the Gulf of Mexico. Now, these are not, small wells. I mean, they can grow up to be 41 feet long and weigh up to a whopping 60,000 pounds. So this is not really cruise news, but this is something that I love to do especially when I have a balcony and I'm just out and about and just having a good time in the Gulf. What kind of animals, sea creatures, have you seen while on a cruise? This is, like I said before, I've seen a dolphin, seen lots of flying fish, seen a school of jellyfish, all kinds of stuff. So let me know what you have seen. Actually, what's kind of funny is the dolphin that we saw we were going back into Galveston. It was very, very early in the morning, and I was one of the few people that was up. I get up extremely early. I went out to the balcony and I flipped the light on, and when you do that and it's like dark out, it shines a light down there, out there on the water. It was kind of funny because I saw something out of the peripheral of my vision, and while I was drinking coffee, suddenly I noticed that there was a dolphin out there. It was jumping through the water into where the light was shining. So I don't know if it was attracted to the light or what, but I think that's pretty cool. So the last bit of news I want to talk about today is all over social media. There's been this photo going around of these kids that were just dangling over a balcony. They were sitting on top of the railing, which is extremely, extremely dangerous. Not sure what ship they're on. From the way the balcony looks, I'm going to guess it's a Royal Caribbean ship, but who really knows? Not a lot is known about this photo. It's just circulated social media, and you know how these things kind of go. It just kind of grows a life and a story of its own. But we want to talk about taking, teenagers and kids on a cruise ship. And so I've had really, really good cruises where there were a lot of teens and it was fine. Never had any issues. I've also had the opposite where there was just unruly kids everywhere. One such cruise, the kids wouldn't move out of the way. They were all sitting on the stairwell in the stairs, and they there was like no space to get around them, and nobody would get out of the way. They would just sit there and wouldn't move. And that's actually the cruise where I tragically saw the foosball table get destroyed. I didn't see it, but yeah, I saw the aftermath, and it was not a pretty sight. Don't know. It could have been, unruly adults that destroyed it, but that cruise was particularly bad with the kids, so I kind of suspect it might have been that direction with it. When you're bringing kids and teenagers onto a cruise, you've got to do what you can to talk to them, let them know what is and is not acceptable. Doing things like this, it's not only risking like a lifetime ban from your favorite, cruise company, but these are like life-threatening things these kids are doing. And this isn't the only time this has happened. Earlier this year, there were kids that were crawling from balcony to balcony. There were pictures of a woman straddling the railing. And so these are very, very dangerous actions. And if you love cruising, you do not want to highlight yourself in such a fashion where you're going to end up getting kicked off the cruise. And they'll do it too. This is early on in your cruise, and they go to Mexico and they determine that you are danger and they're going to have to watch you. You know what they're going to do? They're going to show you through the door. They're going to shove you out into Mexico with your luggage, and they're going to say, good luck. And that's happened before, and I've seen stuff like that happen. Thankfully, once when I saw it, it was actually in the United States. We were in Key West, and so that person didn't have to navigate, making sure they have their passport and all those things, and that way they were able to get home. It is very, very important. You have a talk with your kids. Make sure that they understand what is and is not acceptable while you're on this cruise. It's a wonderful vacation. It's a time to let loose and have a lot of fun, but it is not a time that you can just say, all right, kids, go have fun, do whatever you want. I'm not going to watch you. It's not the cruise line's job to watch your kids. It is your job still. So you are their parents. I have 2 adult children too. And yeah, like, seriously, like I knew what they could and could not do while on a cruise. And so it's very, very important to set those boundaries right away. It is very, very dangerous. The likelihood of you falling overboard and getting rescued is very, very small. And if the ship is in motion and you fall overboard, it gets even smaller. So have those conversations with your kids. Anyways, guys, that's all we have for now. So stay tuned for more updates from Morning Brews and Cruise News. Make sure that you are subscribed. Head on over to the Facebook page. And yeah, the link is down below. It is a Facebook group, actually. And we're going to post some more stuff in there today. My name is Trevor Shelby. Remember, folks, life is like a voyage. You never know where the seas may take you. So stay alert, stay caffeinated, and above all else, stay cruising. Smooth sailing, pier runners.